Hey guys, really quick before I get started with the series, if you're not subscribed, I would appreciate it if you do. And if you are subscribed, hit the bell to get notifications when I upload videos. I'll upload the other parts of this video soon. Thanks. Hey guys, welcome back. Got another tree we're working on today. This is the one that I performed a couple root grafts on last spring. Get some of my stuff out of the way. I'm recording several of these today while I'm trying to make the most of the time off that I've got. So, quick review of this one. Like I said, we did some root grafts last spring and we left it to grow. One of the root grafts you can see is right here, and it took, and it looks nice. My second root graft was right here, and you can see it took. We've already separated there. This guy was separated here, which needs a little love, but we'll probably address that in a little bit. And there was a third root graft, and I have to remember now where I did it. I believe, and it didn't turn out quite as well as the others. It did take, here's where I removed, and the root itself is this one, which, if you can see, I'm having trouble orienting myself. Right here, runs down. It's a little bit lower than what we wanted, but that's okay. Live and learn, I guess. I probably should have angled it slightly upwards. The shape of it, at least, is good. It is just not quite as high as I would have liked. So I'm going to clean up the roots a little bit, and then we're going to see what we want to do as far as styling this tree in the future. Put this over here. We're going to clean up the roots really quick, and I'm going to make sure that I keep them moist. I love that word. By spraying them while we're looking at it. Not a lot of close feeder roots. We have a lot of stringy roots that we really need to take the time to arrange. So I'm gonna let's see, we've got some, there we go. I'm gonna use these shears on the roots because I'm going to be working on the top with my other tools here in just a minute. Alright, so I'm gonna go through really quickly. Let me zoom this out just a little and get myself some space. And we're gonna go through and remove some of these crossing roots, and then once we have it reasonably cleaned up, I'm gonna look at the top. So first, I guess what I do want to do is take a look at what might be the front of this tree in the future, and then maybe make root decisions off of that. So I'm gonna get on the side where the camera is so we can kind of looking at the same thing. This is definitely the widest front with probably the most symmetric Nebari. We have what would look to be, let's see if you can see this in the camera. Sorry. Normally don't film this way, so it's a little unusual. What could be a nice first branch, and we also have, if we desired, a leader to form a next trunk section. However, I feel like this tree wants to be a broom style, and from this angle, and you can see here, this is where the dieback is. It's right down to this branch and to here. There are no branches up here that we can train towards that broom style. So if we come from this side, we're probably going to be looking at using this tree here, using this branch, and growing a leader with this one. I'm going to keep it in mind. So I consider one of these, this side or the 180 side, probably to be the front, just based on how the roots have grown. From here, we still have a nice base, not quite as appealing in my opinion, and we still don't have many options in the way of broom style. We have one little branch here, we have another behind it that may be dead, we have this one, and that's it. It's possible to do it with two. I prefer to have 3 or 4 that were spread out more evenly. So I'm going to keep that in mind. Kind of these need to go. Going to keep this side in mind for a broom style, and then I'm also going to really probably think about using this and growing this leader up, even though I kind of like the idea of it being small. So let's start. Root hook. See what we can tangle or untangle, I suppose, first. A lot of these branches, these roots, excuse me, grew out and then to the side. Let me zoom in a little bit, which kind of may have been due to my grow beds. It's possible that it grew and hit the wood on the side of the beds and then grew sideways, but I don't think it was placed that close. So I'm not really sure why I've got two branches, good grief, 2 roots here that are just kind of hooking a 90-degree turn here. The good news is that we've got more roots on this main root, and so I can cut this back and hopefully we'll get some better direction. So I'm going to cut it back kind of like you would a branch. I'm going to cut it back to another feeder root that I've got right here, and I'll zoom in just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to cut back to right here. Okay, because there's no way that I'm going to be able to direct that back in the direction that I want it to go. It's already thick enough that it was kind of set in that direction. So let's look. Same thing here. We've got, untangle this a little bit, off of the same root, the same situation, growing down first off, but then off to the right. So what I'm going to do is cut it here, so you can see this. You can barely see it, but it's okay. I'm going to get rid of the angled root, and then we're just going to leave these and see if they'll self-correct a little bit as they thicken. Let's see here. Gonna wire was left from one of the root grafts, I believe. These are crossing. They're kind of in a fortunate spot to cover up this little gap. However, they're crossing. I'm going to see if I can force these to uncross. If I can leave both of them. It's not a super healthy root though. Let's see what this one looks like. Oh, it's growing way back up under the tree. Come here. Come on. Alright, so that one's got some growth to it. So I wonder if we can maneuver this one over the top of this one like so. Does that really help? Not really, but we will let that ride. Sorry, I've got to have my coffee all day. Alright, so now let's keep going around. Some of these are really not great roots. This, for example, comes right off of what would be a decent place, but it didn't get any early branching. We've got these little feeder roots here, so maybe we cut this back. It's right in here, and encourage this to grow off to the side. Let's see. Don't want to spend. I mean, I need to, but I don't want to spend too much time on these roots because I want to work on kind of a game plan for the top. Alright, so, and I'm still going to be untangling these roots as I go, so bear with me. We've got crossing roots here that I really need to plant on a board to correct. Let's see. Alright, this one, let's see what we can leave here. I think I can leave it as is. I think it'll be okay. These are not all emerging from the same level, but eventually really our soil level is going to be about here. And so some of these that aren't ideal in terms of the way they look, they'll be okay. Alright, so let me go ahead and reduce some of these larger roots, and I'll only use larger tool here. And see, I've got like this growing the top of this root, which is really probably better than the one below because that's closer to the soil level. So I'm going to leave it. I'm going to come down to this larger root and cut it back to, I guess, right here. If you can, don't know if you can see that or not. Right in here where there are a couple of smaller roots that are branching off of it. I'm going to go ahead and cut it back to there. And didn't get much feeder root taken off of that, so that's good. Just keep going around. I'm just doing really the minimum here. I'll come back and trim kind of in a circle when I get done because I'm going to put this one into a pot, I believe. Probably for this year. Alright, so let's go ahead and reach up under here. This was planted on a board, but you can see where the screw actually, well, I can't. Okay, there we go. You can actually see where the screw went to the tree right there. But a lot of the roots snaked their way between the trunk and the board, which is very inconvenient because then they get set in that growth pattern and you have to just remove them. We can do that. There's no problem. Let's see. This guy, let's go. Alright, now back to reducing the roots. I'm going to do this a little more quickly now. The idea of what I'm doing here is just encouraging spreading of the Nebari, the ramification, I guess, closer to the trunk, and reducing long, heavy roots in general. So I'm going to go through and do this a little more quickly. And I will at least make where you can see what I'm doing. That'll be good, wouldn't it? branch is grown, or this root is grown in a complete semicircle, and I know not why, because there were no physical restrictions to keep it from growing straight out like it should have. I've got 3 roots here growing very close together. I want to get rid of, let's see, that's coming off of there. Let's cut this back. Maybe it lives, maybe it doesn't. Got that one back there. Got this one. We don't really want a 3-pronged root so much, even though this is going to be probably never seen. But so I'll just cut them to slightly different lengths and it's less obvious. Here, if we could get these to grow alongside each other like this, it would be much better. So maybe I can take something like this piece of wire, and because I don't have this screwed to a board currently, we can improvise, take something like this and wedge it between the 2 trees, between the 2 branches, excuse me, between the 2 roots. We'll get there eventually, like this, and at least get a little bit of separation between them. Alright, we're gonna keep going. This is crossing, needs to go right there. Here we've got branching 2 spots there. We can go ahead and cut off the longer part. Maybe I should swap back to my shears. Okay, yeah, much easier. Alright, let's see, keep going. This one has, let's see, feeder roots growing along most of it, which is good. So we're going to cut it back here. I'm pretty confident that will be fine. This is something else. Okay. Rotate. Let's see. I want to get rid of some of the, let's see, lower growing roots. I'm not going to completely remove them, but I'm going to reduce them, and then we'll come up here and reduce that larger root like so. This one, let's see what we got on there. I think I'm gonna cut it back. Oh, I'll cut it to there. There's a little tiny feeder root there. Okay, these need to go. You can see these under that are crossing. I'll get rid of that. Where are we at on time? 20 minutes. Okay. This is odd looking. Not really sure what's going on with that. So we're going to cut it right back to here. And there's a nice root here that I cut back to that hopefully can pick up the slack for that root. We've got crossing root here. It actually comes way back in there, so let's cut it. Let's cut it really close. Maybe it'll encourage it to branch out some. Let's finish reducing these longer roots. Do we have anything? Yeah. Put this one back to right in here. And then again, we've got some feeder root that we can kind of splay out this way, and it can help that tree, or that branch, that root to continue growing. The same here. Go back there. Okay. Now we're almost done with our roots for the time being.